Hello and thanks for joining us. This is The World Now. We're starting from the Middle East, where Israel's security cabinet has approved a ceasefire deal between the nation and Hamas, announced by the United States and Qatar on Wednesday. The cabinet meeting was called at the instance of the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and we have a report.
After 15 months of ceaseless war, the announcement of an agreement with the latest ceasefire deal by Israel is no doubt cheering news to the world at this time, especially the families of the hostages. The negotiating team has officially informed Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu that a deal has been reached. The first 6-week phase of the deal will see 33 hostages, including women, children and the elderly, exchanged for Palestinian prisoners in Israeli jails. Israeli troops will also withdraw to the east, away from the densely populated areas of Gaza. Displaced Palestinians would be able to start returning to their homes, and hundreds of lorries would be allowed to enter into Gaza to deliver humanitarian supplies. On the 16th day, negotiations for the second phase, which should see the remaining hostages released and a full Israeli troops withdrawal, will begin. The third and final stage will involve the return of the bodies of hostages and the reconstruction of Gaza. Israel says 94 hostages are still being held by Hamas, 34 of whom are presumed dead. The ceasefire deal was signed in Doha by representatives of Israel, Hamas, the United States, and Qatar on Wednesday. It was announced by the U.S. and Qatar mediators. However, Hamas says Israel's failure to eliminate the group or remove it from the political scene constitutes a victory. The fighters insist their major demands, which include an end to the expansion of Israeli settlements in the West Bank and Jerusalem, and the establishment of a Palestinian state, are yet to be met. Meanwhile, the World Food Programme and the Jordanian government are pressing for the delivery of humanitarian aid to the people of Gaza. And the latest mission involves 120 trucks, which stands as the biggest since the war began in October 2023.
Meanwhile, Israel's Minister of National Security, Ben-Gvir, says he will not be part of a ceasefire deal that includes an end to the war with Hamas. Mr. Gvir says a deal that will make room for the release of hundreds of murderous terrorists, the return of thousands of Gazans to the northern part of the Gaza Strip, and the withdrawal of Israeli troops from the Philadelphia corridor is irresponsible. The outspoken Minister of National Security says the deal will practically end all the achievement made by Israel in the war. He says Israel's objective to defeat Hamas has not been achieved, and Hamas will not faithfully release Israeli hostages. Mr. Ben-Gvir added that if the deal is approved, all the members of the anti-Arab political party in Israel, which belongs to which he belongs, will hand in their resignation letters to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. We're staying on the ceasefire deal. China has welcomed the conclusion of the agreement for the release of hostages in Gaza. Spokesman of the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Guo Jiakun, says China hopes that the agreement will be effectively implemented. He promised that the Chinese government will continue to provide humanitarian assistance to Gaza and make positive efforts to resume post-war reconstruction. Since the outbreak of the conflict in Gaza, China has been calling for an end to the war and has actively worked to promote the de-escalation of the situation. And still on the fallout from the war in Gaza, the chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court has defended the organization's issuance of arrest warrants for Israel's prime minister and the former defense chief, adding that the country failed to probe war crimes allegations itself. Karim Khan says the ICC has not seen any real effort by Israel to take action that would meet the established jurisprudence. ICC judges issued arrest warrants last November for Benjamin Netanyahu and Yoav Gallant for alleged war crimes and crimes against humanity during Israel's war in Gaza. But Karim Khan says Israel could have demonstrated its willingness to investigate even after warrants were issued. Israel rejected the jurisdiction of the International Criminal Court, denying war crimes despite apparent failure to investigate the claims. The ICC chief prosecutor says Israel had very good legal expertise but did not use its judges, prosecutors and legal instruments to properly scrutinize the allegations made concerning its actions in the occupied Palestinian territories of the West Bank.